when all the issues came in with the new passports coming in, the fact post-Brexit, I was at an airport in Spain coming through, and I saw a guy, we'll name him Big Dave, because he had a look of a Big Dave. I didn't know if he was Dave, he was certainly big. And the first argument came where he went up to a lovely airport aficionado, and he went, "Why can't I queue in the EU queue? Britain is in the EU." And she just looked at him blankly and went, "Yes, but Brexit, remember? Is everyone having a good time?" Well, don't enjoy it for too long, because there's one thing I know about this government: if Boris goes, it will not be any lockdown this December. Santa's not getting in the fucking country without an HGV licence. Variants are coming, 'tis the season. It wouldn't be Christmas without a new variant, and it's one of those things, I'm prepared, I'm body ready to go back to drinking at home. But there's the little things you remember of going back out again. I mean, but before they dropped all lockdowns, I forgot how much I enjoyed waiting 30 minutes outside the pouring rain of a pop world to get in to listen to Cotton Eye Joe. And then for some reason, going to the bar and find yourself behind a group of bridesmaids for a hen show who have all decided on the spur moment to order separate cocktails. I'm a seasoned drinker. I'm looking forward to going back home, drinking a full bottle of gin and watching RuPaul's Drag Race. That's the sort of drinker I am. Because you give England anything, we will find a way of fucking it up. We are the best at fucking shit up. And when any nice thing that comes to this country, we find a way of ruining it. Like any public toilet, Afghanistan and Diana, we've all found ways of ruining all of those things. And people say I'm anti-royalist. I'm not anti-royalist. I feel they've lost track with modern society. So I saw an interview recently with Prince Charles, and he went, "Well, my new Range Rover runs off surplus English wine." And I had to consider, like, how out of touch are you with society when you have surplus wine? In my house, we have two kinds of wine, a full bottle and an empty bottle. There's no surplus wine in the entire England except for the royal family. I am Bradford born and raised. But the problem I had is I was a Bradford child born from two Asian parents who came from working class backgrounds and made a lot of money very quickly and turned Tory. So I am born in Bradford, raised by Tory parents, and so one of two things happened. They put me into a posh school, and there's pros and cons of being put in a posh school in Bradford. Number one, I didn't end up with this accent. Because if you're a Bradford boy with this accent, then they wouldn't let me on stage yet, but I can get you a good deal on a stolen GTI around the back of the building later. So I didn't end up with this accent. That's the one pro that came. But the con is, I probably met a future Tory MP who will address me in a future foreign policy interview and be like, "Oh yes, I went to school with my good brown friend Ant. Cracking bloke. He doesn't like any of those dingy idiots coming over here. He was born and raised here, proper good chap. He drank, so we were on his side." But being in this situation, like my parents, they came, like my grandparents came to this country, they worked their way up. My parents had to work their way up. My mum started in a button factory back in the day, like putting the buttons on the cardigans, and my dad had a corner shop. And they worked their way up and they got into money, so I was in that difficult situation. I remember being very young and we were on a holiday in Tuscany, and I went to the toilet and the urinals were made of solid marble. And as I was pissing in them, I was like, this is not how I considered pissing on marble in my younger years. I thought when I'd be pissing on marble, it would probably be the final of the World Cup, and I would probably be escorted off the Vatican. Not in an all-inclusive hotel. Being in this country, I married a white wife so I could stay here. But I found myself in a loveless marriage, so she tells me. And we're in that situation where we fight about everything. And one of the big arguments, when you're at that stage, you argue about things that you shouldn't argue about. And the big argument we had was about carpet clubs. Now, we all know carpet clubs. It's where you walk to the bar and your feet are stuck to the floor from sweat, cum, and regret. And her favourite carpet club was a club in York called Willow. And the big selling point of Willow, which she marketed to the end of her days, was there were free crackers upon the bar. Now, I've seen enough documentaries of piss and fecal matter to know you do not eat treats upon the bar. So I merely said to her, that's fucking disgusting. But she doubled down. We were in that argument, we were like, I know I'm wrong, but I'm going to stick to this argument, because that's what loveless couples do. So she went, no, you don't understand. At night it's a nightclub, but during the day it's an all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet. So not only do I have to put up with Big Dave's post-work pissy hands, I've now got to deal with the lunch rush pissy hands. And so I doubled down and went, no, this is disgusting. And she went, no, you don't understand. The crackers were prawn crackers. And I leaned in ever so gently and went, the foreignness of the cracker does not negate the piss content in said cracker. If anything, it's more absorbent. There's more urine in a prawn cracker than a normal cracker. Now, we're at the point as well, like, she will purposefully try to better herself to one-up me. So she started to pretend to be vegan. And we all know a pretend vegan. She puts a bag of peas in the freezer, like, I'm a vegan now. I eat peas in the freezer. You've put peas in the one place you could delay consumption for the rest of your life. You are not vegan because you're eating a pea sandwich from Christmas 2018. You want to be vegan, the worst type of vegan. Now I'll be honest, I'm no peach myself. I may look like a peach with my body shape, but I'm no peach whatsoever. And I'm currently trying to work my way through life. I'm transitioning from a man baby to a man boy. And I came to a state recently where I went to the toilet, the big boy toilet. I'm growing up now. And I sat on it, and it was a little bit wobbly, the toilet seat. So I thought, I'm man. I do man things. I can man this toilet. So I got a screwdriver, and I sort of got on my knees, ready to sort out the toilet. And immediately my body just went, ooh. And my brain knew exactly what's going on right there. Because they were like, if you are kneeling over a toilet seat, there's only one thing that can be happening. You are not fixing a toilet seat. You're too much of a man boy to be doing that. You are clearly going to shoot out of both ends like a rusty sprinkler. And for all the comedians here, we're all in a WhatsApp group earlier, because we make fun of all you lot that come out later. And I was at a gig just across the road, and I walked in the toilet, and they did that thing where there's no toilet seat. There's just the porcelain. And I went to the security guy, and I went, why have you got it in there? To stop people taking cocaine. And I was like, if you're that much of a cocaine addict, surely a bit of shit particles is not going to stop you living your best life. Maybe rip the entire toilet bowl out and leave a hole. I'm trying to lose weight, but I can't be asked exercising or eating healthily. So I was like, right, so what are the major decisions I can make in my life? Now, I drink a lot. Ciders, beers, whatever gets me through the day. But I learned a magic trick, and the trick is this elixir right here. It is, ladies and gentlemen, the gin and tonic. Because any hipster you know will tell you a gin and tonic has less calories than banana, and I'm not eating a fucking banana. So I started drinking gin and tonics. Gin, tonic, no ice, no lemon, no lime. I'm watching my calories. But it's the hidden calories they do not tell you in a gin and tonic. The secret hidden calories. This will teach you not to rely on the gin and tonic. Because when you've been out for 6 hours drinking gin and tonic, and you go home and order a stuffed crust, 12-inch, everything on pizza, it's those hidden calories that gin and tonic drinkers will not tell you about. In the show, you don't trust. Trust is a major issue of mine, and I do not trust companies. As I mentioned, went to a gig across the road. I miss the days of standing outside for 45 minutes at the box office in the rain to get a ticket to the show. But the world realised you can't rely on that anymore. You need to involve in electronic tickets. Which makes complete sense. Back in the day, you bought an electronic ticket, e-ticket as the children call it, and you would have to pay for that. You basically, £0. We can post one in the post, you get it, we'll pay £5 for postage, electronic ticket for free. But the company's got track of that at the moment, because at the moment, I bought a ticket yesterday, printed home, £1.50. So they are charging me £1.50 to get the printer down from the loft, plug it in, realise it's out of ink, drive all the way to fucking Asda, look at all of the black cartridges, HP, Epson, I don't know what the fuck my printer is, buy a random one, pay for it, go home, plug it in the printer, a black gig ticket to then tell me, you need magenta to print this ticket. Magenta's not even a fucking colour. Back to the shop again. I'm not paying £1.50 for that, just send me it in Royal Mail. God, I'm a bit gammon at the moment. Royal Mail. I believe in Royal Mail, just so I don't have to go and get fucking magenta from Asda. But that's not the company that's really got my nuts at the moment. Like, we've headed December, and me and my wife a few years ago invested in ecological Christmas trees. Which is, you will buy a Christmas tree, and a company will ship you the Christmas tree. You'll put it up, decorate it, enjoy your Christmas, and then ship it back to the company. They will plant it in the ground, and then next year send you the same tree back. But I'm too cynical a motherfucker. I was like, I want to know I'm getting my tree. The tree that I've invested in, the tree that is older than my children. So I thought, I know what I'm going to do it. And I scratched an X into the Christmas trunk. Was I the only person to think of that? Next year, the X was in a complete separate location. So I was like, what is the one thing I can put in this Christmas tree that no one else will ever think of? So I went for the swastika. But I forgot. This is Britain 2021. There weren't any swastikas on the next tree. Each one bigger than the last. I have a 3-year-old. She's a cunt. Every parent knows we all have that cuntish child. And something happened fairly recently. I took her to Whitby, because that's what you do when you're from Bradford. You take your children to a posh beach, you go to Whitby. And we get there, and I park up. I'm the dad, driving the whole way. I get to the toilet, and the toilet is coin operated. So I've got my Tom Tatler's card, I've got my phone, cannot go to the toilet. And so my little daughter comes up to me with a little purse, unzips it, gives me £1, and goes, there you go, Daddy. You can take a poo. I'm 33 years old, I have a mortgage, 2 lease cars, and a pension, but my bowel movements are dictated by a toddler. And every parent knows I promised her a treat at the end of the night. I promised her a treat at the end, and I took her to shop, and I was like, go on, darling, have what any recycled plastic and wooden toy your heart desires. And what did she pick? The shittest pink unicorn plastic toy that will disintegrate on the car on the way home. And she cried her eyes out, and I'm holding her hand. Brown man holding a white child in a shop. People were looking. And at that point, I was like, fine. I slammed it on the counter, the toy, not the child. And I said to her, right, there's your toy, you can enjoy it. And she got it, and as soon as she left, the tears magically went away, and she skipped out of the shop. And I just leaned in through gritted teeth, went, the tears disappeared, didn't she? And without missing a beat, she went, Daddy, the tears faded away. Because I didn't give birth to a child, I gave birth to a drag queen. Which, thanks to her white complexion, can have what any beard she chooses, unlike her father. I've been Amarpal Singh. Thank you very much, everyone. Hope you have a very nice